Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to dive deep into the annals of Emperor Jing. We're unpacking how his reign went from, frankly, a period of really precarious, edge-of-your-seat survival into an absolute masterclass on political strategy. So, let's piece together this ancient puzzle of power, rebellion, and control.
Think about it for a second. How do you strip power away from heavily armed, highly motivated regional warlords without completely destroying your own empire in the process? This central question literally defined Emperor Jing's early reign. I mean, push too hard and they rebel. Do nothing and the whole empire just fractures. We're going to look closely at the historical annals today to see exactly how this life-or-death puzzle was actually solved.
Section 1. An unexpected ascension. You know, what's really fascinating here is that Emperor Jing was never actually supposed to rule. He was a middle son, born while his father was ruling the Dai region. He only ended up securing the throne because of this crazy string of incredibly fortunate but undeniably ominous tragedies. His 3 older half-brothers unexpectedly died. So with the older heirs completely wiped out and his mother, Empress Dal, gaining royal favor, his path was suddenly clear. But here's the catch. Inheriting a massive empire you weren't born to rule, that leaves you incredibly vulnerable to ambitious regional kings.
Section 2. Apocalyptic Omens and the Seven States Revolt.
Okay, so in the early years of his reign, the heavens themselves seemingly reflected the extreme political tension down on Earth. The grand historian doesn't just log boring treaties, he logs pure cosmic dread. In year 2, a comet appears in the northeast, accompanied by literally 5-inch hail and Mars going into retrograde, and then by year 3, a long star in the west is followed by a massive, devastating fire in Luoyang. To an ancient reader, these aren't just weird weather events. These are flashing neon signs screaming that the political order is about to violently collapse.
And sure enough, in year 3, that tension finally snapped. Sensing weakness, 7 incredibly powerful regional states launched a massive, highly coordinated military revolt. As the historical text bluntly notes, they dispatched troops and marched westward. Let's be clear, this wasn't some minor border skirmish. No way. This was a dagger aimed straight at the heart of the capital to violently dethrone Emperor Jing.
But this rebellion wasn't just spontaneous. It was actually triggered by a disastrously blunt policy from the capital. Emperor Jing's advisor, a guy named Cao Kuo, aggressively stripped the feudal lords of their lands. It was basically the political equivalent of using a sledgehammer for brain surgery. And the kings, they instantly revolted in retaliation. Now, in a moment of sheer, utter panic, Emperor Jing actually went ahead and executed Cao Kuo, desperately hoping to appease these furious lords. But, as you might guess, the appeasement totally failed. The warlords didn't just want the advisor's head, they wanted the whole shebang. They wanted the throne itself.
Section 3. Restoring order and centralizing power.
Even after Emperor Jing finally dispatched his top generals to physically crush the rebellion, the historical records maintain this unbelievable cinematic tension. The cosmic drumbeat of dread actually gets louder. I mean, we go from 5-inch hail to 18-inch hail, plus massive earthquakes. We see solar eclipses. Finally, in the late years of his reign, the annals casually report that the sun turned purple and 5 planets went into retrograde. The underlying wounds of the empire were still deeply, deeply unstable, and the emperor was in a frantic race against time to fix the very foundation of his government.
So, to cement his newly uncontested power and finally calm this cosmic chaos, the emperor enacted a massive administrative overhaul. He systematically stripped away the old traditional titles of his cabinet, like Tingwei and Dianke, and replaced them with new, highly centralized titles like Dali and Dahang. Now, you might be wondering, why does this matter? Well, because words matter. By renaming the highest offices in the land, Emperor Jing was clearly communicating to every surviving lord that the old feudal days were completely over. All power now flows directly from the center. Period.
And this brilliantly refined approach to statecraft really comes down to the number 5. When the king of the immensely powerful Liang state died, Emperor Jing didn't use that old sledgehammer approach to strip the land by force. Instead, he simply divided the vast Liang territory into 5 smaller, much weaker pieces, and handed them out to 5 different heirs. It was a genius move. He ensured Liang could never ever consolidate enough power to threaten him again. It was a peaceful, entirely legal maneuver that completely neutralized a major threat without a single battle.
Section 4. Sima Xin's Masterclass in Strategy.
The grand historian Sima Qian beautifully distills this entire chaotic era by contrasting 2 radically different strategies for us. On the one hand, we have Cao Ku's doomed blunt force approach, abruptly cutting the lands of the lords, which, as we saw, sparked a massive rebellion that almost burned the dynasty to the ground. On the other hand, we have the later strategy from Zhu Fuyan, gradually, systemically weakening the regions over time, exactly like dividing Lang into 5 parts. It's the difference between amputating a limb without anesthetic versus administering a slow, careful cure. One almost killed the patient, and the other achieved lasting peace.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with Sima Qian's really profound final thought to consider. He writes, "Is not the mechanism of safety and danger reliant on strategy?" It's such a powerful realization. Because in the end, it wasn't just huge armies or blind fate or a weird purple sun that saved Emperor Jing's empire. It was the delicate, incredibly calculated mechanism of political strategy. Force might win you a quick battle for sure, but as Emperor Jing learned the hard way, only true strategy can secure an empire. So looking at the world today, what kind of strategy are we relying on?